So lately we've been talking to our 3 teens about the importance of knowing about their digital footprint. What comes up when people Google them and how it can affect their future. People who are about ready to hire for a position, they're going to Google you, and whatever comes up can either help you or it can haunt you. And so we're kind of been giving them some ways and ideas on how to protect themselves online. And if something happens to be out there that they're not proud of and they wish that would go away, but maybe they can't delete, how to get around that, how to bury that at the back of Google. So I'll go over that too. So first, you have to understand that roughly 80% of hiring managers, company owners, college, admissions officers, they are Googling applicants. They are going to Google you and see what comes up. They want to know who you are. They want to know what kind of opinions you have, whether you've done anything shady. Are you responsible? Are you mature enough for whatever it is that you're applying for? You get these teens and adults who love to go online and argue and fight in forums or on Twitter. And they want to have big political battles of, this is the group I support and I don't like your group and I'm going to say these things. And that's great. Free speech, and have at it. Just know that when it comes to getting hired for a job, you are putting all of that out there. Anything you say, you basically are writing in your resume. And you have to understand it's just the way it is. You can't fault a hiring manager for not wanting someone with an online presence that is offensive and that can cause their company harm. You have to understand that it's the fact of life. They want to protect their own company. And if you're out there stirring up stuff online, that can come back to hurt them. And so they're just going to move on. They're going to see that stuff online. If that's the first stuff that comes up under your name, they're just going to move on. So just be mindful of what you put out there. When you're putting something out there, ask, would I write this on my job application? Would I include it in my resume, or would I include it on my college application? If not, just keep it offline, especially under your own name. Another thing is like social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. Keep those private under your own name, removing the ability for others to tag you. So, just go into your settings and say, hey, like, either approve things that you're tagged in so it doesn't show up until you've approved it, or just remove the ability altogether. Just say, like, you don't want others being able to say what goes online about you. I recommend having your teen or young college student go online every other month or so and just doing a search on their own name. Go onto Google, do a search. Do like a deep research session on ChatGPT. Google your name, put it in ChatGPT, see what comes up. Just find out what's out there. Sign up for Google Alerts. You can sign up for a Google Alert under your name. So any new information that hits the internet, you'll be alerted to. You'll get an email saying, hey, like, here's a website or a blog that mentioned you. Just nice to know what's going out there online, because again, you want to know what's there so there are no surprises when an employer finds it. So then you might be wondering, what if my teen has said some stuff in the past or posted some stuff in the past that they're not really proud of? They were young, they made some mistakes. We'd like this to go away. So the best way to do that, I talked about this in an earlier video about building a personal brand online under your name. So, having a YouTube channel and a website under your name that is documenting the process of whatever it is you're studying, whether that's going through college or you have an apprenticeship or you're building a business of your own, documenting the process, teaching others what you've just learned, projects that you're working on, do interviews with people in your field, flood Google and ChatGPT with information about you, good, positive information, because Google and ChatGPT, they love new, relevant information. They want to see new stuff first, and they will put that stuff at the front of the pack. So, you're doing weekly YouTube videos on your journey to whatever profession it is that you're working towards. You're doing interviews with people, you're writing blog posts, you're making LinkedIn posts. Within a few weeks, the first 10 pages of Google are going to be all of that stuff. And when someone searches you on ChatGPT, that's the first stuff that's going to come up because it's newest and it's most relevant. All of a sudden, those things that you wanted to go away, they might not disappear, but they're going to be so far back that no one's going to find them and care, because the first 10 pages of Google are going to be all of these new positive posts. I'll link to that video about building a personal brand in the description below. You can check that out, and I'll leave a link to it in the comments. And yeah, hope this helps.